Alright, Scorpios, I'm back with your monthly reading. When I was like taking my time to figure out what was going on, the song that popped up in my head was Janae Aoku, I Don't The Worst. The part would say, I don't need you, but I want you. So some of y'all may be doing that to somebody where you're not allowing them to come in. You know what I'm talking about? So you may be like, oh, I got it. I can do it by myself, but not allowing. That's just help. Or it could be, you hear me say, with love, relationships, jobs, careers, finances. But it's kind of like, I don't need you, you need me. Like that flexibility and a sense of power. You got a tower type. I'm not through shuffling though. But some of y'all may be doing those things. Being self-fulfilled. And some of y'all possibly know how far it is to go. That's why I said force that. But we're going to see. That's going to be my last shuffle. Page of Wands. That's what I said, yeah. Some of y'all may be doing that. Or it may be kids you may be going through it with. Or let me say just a relationship aspect or love. I knew one of y'all was going to give me a love reading. Hopefully this ain't that. First card out. Everything is fine. Page of Cups. I said there could be child. The Tower. Ace of Pentacles. King of Swords. Ace of Wands. Ooh. The Hanged One. Ooh, that's a lot, and all I needed was that. Knight of Cups. Ooh. Okay, let's see who's on the bottom of the deck. You got Two of Swords, Eight of Cups, and the Empress here. Somebody could be dealing with issues where you hear me say, a lot of people you hear me say in the season are dealing with maternal type issues, period. So it could be you hear me say when it comes to some sense of truth, you hear me say, especially that emotional vulnerability, that's where that's coming from. Like, I don't need you, but I want you. So this being in a relationship with somebody but don't know how to communicate to them what it is that you need or trying to get love or connecting or a job or just those dealing with certain things. It's kind of like not recognizing like the team value. That's what it kind of gives me though, because you got Three of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Six of Cups. Three of Pentacles, you hear me say, that speaks about looking at the bigger picture and being able to be focused and being able to learn. Queen of Pentacles in reverse speaks of like people who only come around to get certain things that they need, being more invested into the material realm. Knight of Cups, it could be sexual, the carnal, like the lower vibrational scorpionic type energy. And the Six of Cups. So that's why I said some of y'all may be learning some harsh truths about yourself, especially with the Two of Swords. Like this is like cat's out of the bag, truth being revealed, especially about not being emotionally open and causing a wound of not knowing how to love or give it in a sense or whatever the case may be. And that's what I said with this Three of Pentacles though. I said a lot of people got maternal type issues going on. So it could be with kids or connected with kids or the idealization of jobs or just trying to connect with a sense of money. Okay. First card out, you got everything is fine. I told y'all this card to me, you see how somebody looking on the phone, they just sitting there. This could be horrible communication. After certain things go to shit, this is that I don't need you, but at the same time, I need that sense of help, but I'm going to pretend like everything is okay. If this was upright, I would believe, I wouldn't believe it any other way, but it's like that just knowing that no matter the hard times, I could be able to persevere. But with it being reversed, it's kind of like somebody's pretending like situations that don't hurt them. You have Ace of Pentacles and you have the King of Swords, which is being here. So it's kind of like that's being gifted to you, or over time how you gift yourself or try to reason with self, especially with the Hanged One. So this is kind of like repetitive type situations or being apathetic towards certain instances or pain or knowing how to communicate and relate towards others. Why I got all these cards out? You got Page of Cups, Ace of Wands and a Page of Pentacles. Page of Cups, you hear me say, this is that honesty of, oh, I'm sorry, I think I went too far, like that, in a sense of being able to come back to where it's kind of like that flip switch in type behavior, that it puts somebody to where it leads you to situations that are not stable or that can teach you or being able to grow. So it's kind of like the shadowy dark side, not knowing how much of it that you could take and not knowing like that gauge in a sense or whatever the case may be. But if it's some financial opportunity that you may be getting, it's kind of like somebody may be a little overly cocky from going to one situation to another. Or it could be, you hear me say, it wouldn't surprise me if the Emperor came out reversed. Let me just say that. You also had Eight of Pentacles here and with the Six of Swords. So it could be the people that's around you or in a sense of moment to where it could be an entitlement or a sense of a job or some power that somebody may have in a position with this Eight of Pentacles being reversed. So it doesn't have to you, it could be another person relate to it. But this here, like, quick to get into situations at the same time, but not thinking how much paying attention to the minor type things, because somebody's more focused on like what they could achieve, what it is they could do, or it could be the routine that you're sick of, and it's coming off in that way of to where somebody may be having like temper tantrum type moments. You have the Tower here being upright. You hear me say, for me, this is kind of like the crown, the top, that it's like off of the top. This is those explosive type behaviors, as you can see, like blowing the top off, like the lid, not caring, I will cut you off, I will cut you off, I will do this in those type of moments. And then you hear me say with the Page of Cups in the middle, it's kind of like going too far in those times where it's like certain things can't be fixed. Because you have Four of Pentacles with another fixed sign, Taurus, and the Eight of Wands, holding on to certain things. It could be old grudges or certain situations that need to be let go of, especially reprogramming, especially in the mind. Because the Knight of Cups speak of like the troublemaker, the person who's doesn't understand their lower vibrational type tendencies when it comes to connecting with others and being a part of this Six of Wands energy. And it's not reversed though. So it could be somebody damaging or fucking up some sort of good thing. Or just the ego. Ooh, just the ego in the month of August. So this kind of gives me though. So let's see what else comes out. That's how United Cups is. That's that make up the breakup. That's that scorpionic type behavior. Manipulative. Getting certain things that they want. Nobody loves me, nobody understands me, I'm going to be emotionally closed off, but at the same time I want you to love me, or I can find myself some drugs, miscommunication, the life of the masochist, or whatever the case may be, but still craving that sense of honesty and connection. Five of Swords, you have this here, and you have the Sun here. With these two here, you hear me say it's kind of like somebody learning some harsh truth about themselves, or patterns, or a person, or a maternal type figure, or how you self-love, or how you connect. You hear me say dealing with the ego type basis, or dealing with a sense of happiness, inner child, or knowing how to be able to adjust. It's kind of like when it comes to a sense of negativity, or they gauge. You hear me say that, like they gauge just the knob, knowing how far and where and not to go, especially in a place of negativity. I started to use the Wild Unknown, but I was like, nah, we're going to get y'all a little color, because some of y'all may be going through a dark time. Ooh, shit. Oh, Emperor came up, right? Excuse me then. Spoke too soon. Three of Cups. I've been drinking. Alright, I'm gonna stop. Queen of Pentacles and the Four of Cups. This could be a person or a love interest, or a person that you possibly have pushed out of your life, or somebody who you're trying to connect with, a maternal type figure. It could be a person. It could be a mother learning those sense of behaviors, or how you connect with a sense of the world. When it comes to femininity, and most women, like you hear me say, if you're out here on the prowl and you're trying to date or find a sense of lovers, this isn't a good look. Just being so focused on, you hear me say, just the material realm, or the independent nature of not knowing how to be able to accept help. But at the same time, I don't need a nigga for this. Like, I done been there, whatever the case may be. I really have. But when I recognized that, you hear me say that it was only isolating and letting people come in so far, it pushed me in a position to where I was, the universe was like, eat that shit that you be saying to others. And it created like a tough time to where it put me in a tower type moment. But you also have, you hear me say, the Hermit and the Emperor here. So this situation that you may be dealing with when it comes to a sense of truth or exclusivity, when it comes to like matters or whatever the case may be, is teaching you to be able to go within. That's why I said some of y'all are going through a period of time to where you're learning certain instances of like learning how to be in a position of the control, because the Emperor here is a person who is able to not dictate others, but they know the power that they have, and they know how valuable it is to being able to accept others so they can be accepted. So when you know who you is, can't nobody take your sense of power away from you. But when you feel like your power can be taken away from you, and it comes into the oh, I love you, or the constant continuation of praises, and like somebody always accepting their downfall type of behaviors, it's like, oh, somebody could get into the position of where they be repetitive going into those sense of actions. You got Temperance, Five of Wands, and the Three of Pentacles. Patience. Patience. Some of y'all, you hear me say, if you're a boss, that I say a lot of times people are entrepreneurs. They take this same attitude from work and they take it home. And they don't know how to, like, this is the Three of Pentacles. So it doesn't necessarily have to be like somebody that doesn't know how to separate work life from home, relationships, and all those different instances. So it's kind of like somebody don't recognize how that I don't need you, how you actually need them. Like you actually do. Like one hand washes the other. So somebody may be in that mind frame, you hear me say, especially with this Five of Wands and the Three of Pentacles. It's kind of like that competitive type matter. And it could be the people that you're around, especially the Six of Wands, because that speaks of like fame, situation, whatever lifestyle you in. The ego boosters, the people that's, yes, you're doing such a good job. Like you got the new age feminists that tell women or whatever the case may be for shit you need to do. If you want to stay by yourself or whatever the case may be, shit that you're required to do as a U.S., not U.S., but U.S. citizen or staying anywhere in independence. So women get on their troops and they say, yes, this is who I am because I'm this, only to recognize that life get really hard. And men as well, that's masculine energy to where a lot of women are leading into in those type of moments. So when they looking for love, they recognize that love actually is not knocking on their door because they have to fight or being in competitive type situations with the Three of Pentacles, to where you feel like you have to dominate others and not knowing how to actually play fair. That's what it kind of gives me, like, play fair. You got King of Pentacles, you got the Wheel of Fortune, the Five of Pentacles, and the Page of Wands. This could be you and your partner, you hear me say, especially with this Five of Pentacles. Or it could be you hear me say, you and your masculine energy learning a sense of truth, especially Queen of Pentacles, don't know like what type of magic or person, you hear me say, that's tapping into or help you to come to that senses or whatever the case may be. If you are, it just gives me somebody that's very abrupt and don't care about a sense of truth or how they tell you. So it creates a sense of problem to where you feel outskirted. So, you know, like a lot of people when they try to go like magic endeavors, or they try to see witch counselors, or they try to do astral projection, all those different types of things, a lot of people can abruptly ascend to where those situations that they end up in, to where they come uncouth to who they are. And it creates this new cycle, and it puts them on a new path to where they have to be vulnerable and open. So it puts you in like the Page of Wands energy, to where it's like very problematic. And I think for somebody else, like coming uncouth is just a sense of relationship, or knowing like the stableness into what you bring to each other. Whether it's, I know like a lot of people are getting highlighted for its financial, taking financial hits, especially with COVID. Some people are being overworked, underworked, or whatever the case may be, being able to provide. So a lot of people are going through hardships. Some people may be going through evictions and trying to find another place to stay, or money management, those type of things. But when you're so focused on, I don't need you, I can do it by myself, I can do all this type of shit, it makes it harder to be able to progress in life and being able to work. Said it's hot. Why is it in my head? But yeah, that's what it is. It gives me like harder to work, and being able to progress. Four Wands was a peaker, so I didn't take it all the way. Oh shit. Some of y'all flip-flop. Some of y'all maybe wishy-washy. All right. Bottom of the deck, we got Four Wands. I told you it was going to come out Four Wands. That's why I said some of y'all got to learn how to work with a team or a partner or a relationship. So let's go. You got Ten of Wands, the Justice, the Lovers, and the Seven of Pentacles. Some of y'all keep on pushing that same shit only to recognize that it's not working. If you are in the Ace of Pentacles type position where a lot of people are trying to manifest or bring in certain lovers or call into a certain type of help, it's kind of like the point that you need to be able to release. Somebody doesn't know how to release doing the same thing over and over and over again, because that what works for them. And if a partner is saying that this can't work for me and this is what I need, you got to be able to adjust. You got a mutable sign and a cardinal sign here. Justice is all about knowing fair, the balance of bringing into certain situations. A lot of people are going through karmic type cycles to only to repeat them again with other people and not learning that it's kind of like, oh shit, I keep this the same damn garden, nothing new, nothing changed, it's just the same old with this here. So that's why I say it's like the lack of accountability, the lack of self-love, honesty, being committed, being tried and true, and being able to stick through those sense of obstacles, though, especially dealing with infidelity matters. Ten of Wands, you hear me say, going back to this, it's kind of like at that moment to where somebody's looking for a sense to be free. And you have Four of Pentacles. You hear me say Four of Pentacles, that got something to do with your heart chakra. So it could be like not knowing how to honor the shadow, like the dark parts of you. So it keeps you in a place of being vengeful. And you may not be vengeful or know how to be. So you keep these things within and you project them onto others and expect them to be your sense of reality and say, okay, don't worry about it, I got it. Like, it's kind of just gives me like passive aggressive or just snippety. It just gives me very snippety, and somebody doesn't know how to speak in a sense of truth, because we really don't have a lot of swords up here. So that's just hidden pain. You got to the Lovers here, and you got the Seven of Pentacles again. So it's kind of like maybe somebody has been trying to get a relationship or putting themselves, thrusting themselves out there dating. It's kind of like things are just not working. For some of y'all, if you're trying to get out of some sort of relationship, that is cool. But it's like at this moment, you got to bear down because of COVID and like the way, if you Google whatever city you in, with the cities and stuff, like I don't know why I Googled that stupid ass shit. They doing case by case, so what's more important or whatever will get passed up the docket. So it may have been certain things that was important to you or certain matters or whatever the case. So it's kind of like everybody's just adjusting, getting back into that flow. So it's like that patience that is needed, but the lack of patience is there. But it puts it in the Five of Wands, so it's kind of like somebody doesn't know when to exude a sense of strength. That's what it kind of gives me, though. Going back to this, you got the Fool, you got the Two of Wands, and the Two of Swords. It's kind of like starting at ground zero. Some of y'all want to keep the old and want to bring a little bit of the new, and that's not working. So when it comes to risk and certain things, that's where you kind of like, nah, I ain't going to do what I got about myself, being very folly type nature, where somebody is a little bit pessimistic. With the Sun being in reverse, the Page of Pentacles being in reverse, especially if it's like a job or career aspect to where somebody wants to take a risk and go somewhere else where they can be more financially fulfilled, where it accumulates a sense of time between you and a partner or the home front to where you're able to relax. For some of y'all, it's the position of where it puts you in healing, and some people don't want to take healing because it's a decision that needs to be made, but somebody doesn't recognize like the power, like they're contemplating within it. They contemplate in the sense of to where it still puts them in a hard position, because you got Eight of Cups, Nine of Pentacles, Ten of Cups, and the Knight of Pentacles. Again, to where like the decision that needs to be made, where somebody's taking too long, even though they need to make an effective decision to be able to seek change. Somebody like, no. Like somebody doesn't want to, that accountability to where they look at the aspects of certain things, align them in a position to where they have that sense of power within themselves. Somebody's more focused on, again, the material realm or what they accomplished or what they was focused on. If it's work, somebody's more, well, this job pays this, I know it's gonna do this, but you ain't happy. But it brings you the financial stability, or it brings you that sense of recurrence of the same thing. That's why I said somebody just doesn't want to let something go or be emotionally accountable for old things. And it's kind of like being soothed by the things that's around them. That's what I said, especially with this Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups being reversed, like somebody doesn't know how to be happy or look at the long haul. Even if it's a job or careers, it's kind of like some people are being forced to take certain strides in certain positions. So if it's like an offer, somebody coming up to you and they saying, hey, you should do this. And you kind of like, I don't know. You can't wait too long. Because at that time, it takes that power away from under you and give it to somebody else. And most people don't recognize that. So it's kind of like the timing if it's certain contractual type things that's trying to come up or whatever the case may be, or dealing with certain injustices. But with the Ten of Cups, it also speaks of like being unhappy in just the position you are and needing to take a time, especially if it's a relationship though. Like you hear me say, a lot of people 8 and 10 verse both reverse, that brings it out to a -2. So it could be the relationship where it's not in a space of harmony. So it's like arguing, competing, going against each other, where it's kind of like, well, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. Well, I need time, I need time. It's a lack of vulnerability. So it's kind of like, I don't need you, you need me. So it puts it in that matter. Oh, shit. Flip. Ooh, there go that horrible communication. God damn, I want to try to take them. Hospital was. Woo! 9 of Swords. If you don't want me, then don't talk to me. Want me, then don't talk to me. Stop. Alright. So, you got the Death card and the 7 of Wands here. And with this, though, it speaks of like needing to be able to create a sense of change in your life, or being stuck. Somebody could be drama filled. Like you hear me say, it just gives me that lower vibrational. Like somebody wants to still hold on to the old, but still being able to see how they can transition the old with the new, but they don't know how. So it's the reliance of people around them and asking certain people that could tell you to do certain things differently, or people who force you, or listening, or saying you should do this, and it's kind of like, no, what works for me, or the happiness for the 2 of Cups. Because you got the Queen of Wands again, and you have the 2 of Cups. This is a lot of maternal type issues. So it could be in relationships where it's kind of like, if you listen to the song, it's very weird. Like, you get what I'm saying? Because it's kind of like, oh, I'm gonna go do this, and I'm gonna do all this, or whatever the case may be, but at the same time, you better not never leave me. It's possessive as much, and it's like the actions of a person that don't know. Because the Queen of Wands, especially in feminine energy aspects, like she speaks of like causing chaos, and she doesn't know how to have control, so she does too much, and she needs to turn around and repair it, and she only repairs it or stays in a sense of a relationship. So this could be a she or he, because of the control that she has, and this is like the shadowy aspect. So it's kind of like the masochist type idea, where you hear me say that sense of hurt or being tethered to that, or whatever the case may be, like constantly being tethered to old pain in relationships. It could be substances abuse, alcohol, drinking, or whatever the case may be, or don't know what's your vice. I don't know what the hell is your vice, so I don't know. But it could be a vice, you hear me say, that controls you and dictates how you work with others. So if it's a relationship with you and somebody else, it's kind of like it's something always in the middle. So if it wasn't the job, it'll be a substance. If it wasn't the substance, it would be a person. If it wasn't the person, it would be things. So it's kind of like somebody doesn't know how to create a sense of time between the relationship to be able to receive that sense of love or connection with others. So this is why somebody say, I don't need nobody, because da 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 da. Like I'm telling you, like when you watch this video, please go listen to the song. Just listen to lyrics. She was like, don't take it personal, but you ain't shit. You ain't special until I made you so. Which is true. That's the most shit if you ever did that to somebody. But at the same time, if you boss them up, or you level somebody's life up, or they went through some of those hard times, because as Scorpionic type beings, you can be able to accept the dark, anything with a person. And sometimes it can inflame the ego to where you don't recognize that you're bruising somebody else's vulnerability until that person say, I done had enough, I'm gone. And then when they leave, this you. 4 of Wands, the Judgment, and the 5 of Cups. So it's kind of like when it comes to the sense of happiness or what's behind you, that's the sense of grieving and going through those harsh lessons. Well, this didn't work out. Well, I thought it was, or I lost this, I did this, only to recognize that it's not benefiting you in these type of matters, because somebody wants to keep the old with a little sprinkle of the new. It really does, though, because you hear me say, even with the Judgment being upright, and it speaks of awakening, like I said, that's that a sense of approval or ascended, the trumpet call, the people that saying, yes, yes. So if you're in that 6 of Wands energy where you was in a bad time and you're now financially stable, or the breadwinner or a person, it's kind of like that material 3D realm of the people that's around you. that's a good man, she's a good woman. And it's kind of like somebody lets that get to their head, only to recognize that when it comes to relationships, it's like at home or dealing with it, it's kind of like I'm really not paying attention to what needs to be paid attention to. Because you got this is why I say that. Knight of Swords, Six of Swords, Queen of Swords. All feminine aspects are reversed. This is the maternal type aspect, connecting with others and yourself. So with that, you hear me say speaking or communicating with certain things of the matter of learning information. It puts you in a position to where somebody is very lethal with communication. So if you're doing this to others, others can do this to you, and it puts you in a position to where somebody runs back to the last card, which is the devil. So there could be substances, people, the darker side, not knowing how to manage that sense of the ego, of sex, addictions, whatever it is that keeps you suppressed. It's kind of like that puts you in a position to where you go backwards instead of forwards. So instead of charging forward and like shedding those sense of old things that work for you, it's kind of like somebody like, I don't want them. Because you have the Chariot and the Star. That's willpower and strength. But willpower and strength, being able to access that, to highlight, is also understanding your own sense of actions. And it's kind of like at that moment to where it's like if you do the same thing over and over and over again, you will always get what you always get. Because just because this card means wish fulfillment or waiting or alignment and all those different types of things, it also could mean like a loss. So it's still like a lost cause. You get what I'm saying? It's kind of like, so that would make somebody in a job or career or connect with other people where you feel like, so it's kind of like somebody got to focus and figure out what it is they want. Because I tell you every time I see this card, just look at this. I tell y'all, look at this. This is dumb stuff, Aquarius type dude. I'm sorry, this is funny to me. Pouring shit in the grass and then it's there. It's kind of like, yep. And as well, like you can learn from each energy that is here. Aquarius type energy, they're going to do what they want to do. But it's also knowing what it is you need to do for it lands you in a shadowy type position to where it fucks you up. Cancerian nature, you hear me say this is the energy of caring about other people, but at the same time you hear me say not putting other people before themselves when they make those decisions, especially as a cardinal type sign. Whatever decision they make is going to be beneficial for them when they're not in alignment with their highest self. Capricorn energy, you hear me say as well, you hear me say needing to be first and needing to thrive and be able to push for another cardinal sign with two sister signs being there. Is sometimes they could be like Scorpios, a little possessive, controlling. It's my way or the highway. No, I'm going to do this. And the devil in the details. Like this could be the devil in the details, what people fail to recognize when they don't want to unpack why it is they drink, why it is they smoke, why it is they have sex, why do they like gossip, why do they like drama, why they tell it to this. A lot of people don't want to unpack that pain that puts them in another path. But because somebody calls it or talk or speaks to you in an improper type manner to where you can dish it, but you can't take it, and those type of things. This is where it takes somebody to the place of, well, I guess it'll never work, so I'm gonna do this, da 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 da. So they go back to that dark type space instead of recognizing, why the hell I'm in the dark? Queen of Cups, that's what I said. These are a lot of feminine energy cards being reversed. Jesus, and the Nine of Cups. Oh, shit, that hurt. I braided my hair all the way down to my goddamn knees, and every time that shit move, I'm like, is something crawling on me? Ooh. This, let me line these up. Oh, y'all ain't seeing them. Queen of Cups, Nine of Cups. I'm explaining them. Seven of Swords, and you got the Four of Swords. Ten of Pentacles, they go to work, their job, the house, the cars, the clothes. Ace of Swords, the High Priestess, and the Empress. All right. Going back to, you hear me say this Queen of Cups and this Nine of Cups energy, that's somebody, you hear me say, that's not emotionally fulfilled. Somebody who's very reliant and reluctant on others. They don't know how to feel their emotions, so it's kind of like, oh, well, you need to love me, or you need to do this because I did this for you, but at the same time, I'm not going to be emotionally available for you. Last card out, I ain't taking no more. You got the Moon and Two of Pentacles. So it's kind of like being emotionally evasive, but at the same time, giving people just enough. Shit, that's the Nine of Wands that turned around. Like I said, with this Nine of Cups, though, that's somebody that's unhappy or feel fulfilled in life. So where you may possibly want to try more, but you really don't know what it is. Nine of Wands again. It's kind of like, you hear me say, wanting to be in a sense of fulfilled, but somebody doesn't know how to be. So it's kind of like things may have not possibly working out in the past for you, or connecting with self or maternal type issues, childhood wounds, just your overall happiness, or feminine energies, especially if you're in a relationship and you keep catering to your spouse. It's kind of like, what about it is it that you need? Because you got the Seven of Swords as well and the Four of Swords. So dealing with a sense of truth. This could be hardship, emotional trauma. Right? So with the Four of Swords, it puts you there in the space of that. When the truth comes out, somebody's more stable in information that they get, so they kind of hold on to the past, the negativity. So that's what pushes somebody to the what if, this didn't work, why this didn't happen, da 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 da. Like, this is what it is. So when it comes to speaking terms, and when you feel like you heal, you're regurgitating certain shit that doesn't need to be regurgitated if it's not going to help you heal, but it's only pushing you towards certain vices. Then you got Ten of Pentacles. You heard me saying the Ace of Swords. That speaks of when it comes to, God damn, y'all. My bad. I said this, not y'all towards the spread. I said this, but I didn't say this though. I've been clocked this though. It's about something else though, and how this lined up in my deck. I was like, ugh. It ain't my business though, so let me focus. Ten of Pentacles, and you got the Ace of Swords as well. Ten of Pentacles speaks of, like you hear me say, like the job and the home front of the family dynamic, the cars, the clothes, all these different types of things. Learning how to commit. Like I said, some of y'all on the prowl for certain jobs, and y'all being secretive about it, and waiting on something to come into fruition, and you kind of like, is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? Some of y'all may have put all your resources into something, and now you feel like, oh my God, like, is this really gonna work for me? The Nine of Wands, where you feel very vulnerable because in the past, maybe when you were trying to do something, it didn't work out. But the Ace of Pentacles is there, and the Ace of Swords. That's why I said I don't know where how the Ace of Cups is or anything else. But it's kind of like it's there. It's there. So that's why I said if it's a relationship or a connection, somebody may be showing you signs of something that you do not like. And it's the signs of you. So it's putting you in a position of where you're feeling very vulnerable and exposed and you don't like it. So because you feel vulnerable and the need of, you saying, I don't need you. So you're creating this whirlwind of a shitstorm to keep a person out of your life, to where they won't connect or vibe with you or get you. Because you got the High Priestess here too, so that's secrets. So that's secrets. Secretive. That's Scorpionic type nature. Secretive, Illinois, divinity, counsel, spirituality. But Two of Pentacles, though, is like being exhausted, though. Exhausting all your resources. You hear me say that all the time. And with the Nine of Swords, my bad, I zoned out for a minute. Ooh. Ugh. Six of Cups and the King of Cups. I think somebody trying to control what went wrong in the past, and they just don't know how to let it go. Six of Cups mean, you hear me say, just a self-reflective of memory. That's why some of y'all still tethered to old things and situations. Y'all are. So it's kind of like with you being able to let it go, you just don't know how to let it go. And it could be a personal situation around you that keeps reviving shit. But it doesn't give me like, if this is a person, it gives me more of what somebody does. Because you got the Hangman reverse. So it's a situation, if it's in love, you did the same thing in the last relationship, the relationship before then. And it's kind of like, maybe it's not them, it's you when it comes to dating a certain style of lovers. If it's a job and career aspects, so where you get comfortable and all those different types of things, you got to recognize, like, why are you so the go-to person and you don't have nobody to go to? And then because you around here telling bosses and all this different types of things, oh yeah, and they like, okay, well, give me that. or making it harder for you and chastising you in those type of manners. But if it is, you hear me say, just the home and the dynamic or the maternal type aspect of connecting, you hear me say, even if it's with children, because you did get a lot of page of wands, so it could be going through those indifferences with kids. Ugh, that's the hair. With kids or whatever the case may be, or connecting with a child that's going through certain things, it's probably just reflecting and highlighting on your relationship that you had as a child. So, it just gives me that. I'm telling you, because King of Wands, he kind of like the Emperor, but it's still kind of like a little more control. It's more control. Yep. The World in reverse. Some of y'all procrastinators like me. But I will say this too, though. If you're trying to get somebody another shot or give life another shot or trying to do something new or create some sense of passion, with the Knight of Cups being there, it's like, if you're going to let it go, let it go. You got 7 of Cups. How? That's what I just heard. How? You just got to learn how to be vulnerable. True strength is knowing when and when not to be vulnerable. If you secret enough, and some of y'all are lower vibrational Scorpios, let me say that, so y'all like to put people through the ringer in certain tests. Certain people in your life, you can rely on them or call on them. But if your emotions are, you are emotionally clouded, or everything is always smoke and mirrors with you, or a facade, because every Scorpio goes to this. So if everything is always smoke and mirrors, how the hell can somebody love you the way that you want them to love you, and you sitting up here saying, I don't need you, you don't do this? Arrogant, jealous, spiteful, show off, ego based. Even if it's a child, even if it's a father and you, or a mother and a daughter, it's like, how? They don't even get to see the real you. That's it. What we got on the bottom of the deck? Boom. 3 of Pentacles, the 3 of Swords, the 6 of Pentacles, and you got the Knight of Wands. Again, this is celebration. Celebration. What are you celebrating, though? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, what is this? What is this celebrated? Is it like the lower vibrational type beings, people who enable you, being able to victimize others, like going through a sense of pain? Is it the needing to get certain things that you need, or how because people tolerate you because they know what you got and how much you can take? Is it this? Because that's why I'm like, what's the point of celebration? Because you got 3 of Swords, I can see that. 6 of Pentacles being reversed. It's not like, you know how they say, how people used to, before people start accumulating money, they say, you broke and you going out, you going to the club every weekend, da-da-da. What you celebrating? The struggle? And if you healing or you trying to fix something, it's like, what you celebrating? Talking mean and raunchy to somebody? Or holding on to pain, or victimizing others by your pain? Because 6 of Pentacles does speak of an abuse of power in situation and financial type aspects. So it could be a person in your life that does this to you, or situations to where you may be crippled by these situations, or a boss or a lover or a situation connecting. Let me say that. But if you are undervolved, Scorpio, and you're going through something like this, it's kind of like, now it's time to tap in and see, okay, this is what I do to others, because you do have the Magician being reversed. So that's why I say you're not working with all the elements. So that's water, fire, earth, and air. So yeah, that's why I said we're going to see. We're going to pull y'all cup advice cards. I'm going to blow y'all up. What was next? I think Aries was next. I think y'all had Is It Love, because I lost my paper. And then I had Taurus. I think it was Animals. That song by Neon Trees. Here we go again. We play like animals. We play pretend. And baby, I'm a cannibal, and I'm afraid I won't get out alive. Yeah. But I said we're gonna pull y'all a couple of advice cards because I started to just use the where they go? I started to just use the wild unknown because it looked like some of y'all operating in your shadow. You don't even know how to honor it or heal it. So that's the problem. So some of y'all just snappy. Uh-oh, I want some more. Uh-oh. Alright. So we're gonna see what's going on. Damn. We're gonna see what's going on. But it looks like you hear me say it doesn't give me like a lot of fear base because y'all really didn't have nothing fear based except for the moon. So that's kind of like being evasive, emotionally evasive at that, and especially deceptive as hell. So it doesn't give me like a necessary fears or worries that's going on. It's just the honesty with self to be able to address it because the high priest is there. So it's kind of like So it's kind of like this emotional block. A wall. So it's possibly where substances and people come into play. So it could be sex, anything else, But if you are trying to date, it just didn't look like a good fit. I'm telling you, it really didn't. Not saying you or the person. I'm just saying the personas and behaviors. And necessarily don't give me a good fit, though. Let me just say that. Especially with the balance of that. So some of y'all, like you hear me say, some of y'all working. Some of this may be information that's already been privy to some of y'all. That's why it really didn't give me just heavy. It's just like the awareness of it. So somebody may be aware but don't know how to deal with it. Alright. Communication is key. Damn. Oh, there go those cardinal signs. Prosperity lies ahead. That's what I said. Some of y'all was applying for a job. Be bold and make the first move. This is cardinal signs. So that's kind of like if you need to fix, heal, repair, or anything, you can. Or going after certain things that you want, you can. You are good enough. All right, let's see. The end of a tough cycle approach. New moon in Capricorn. Ooh. Adjustments are required through a third quarter moon. That's why y'all got Piscean cards. I was finna say this is a damn Aquarius spree. That's what it kind of gave me. Show the world the real you. Because prosperity lies ahead in the deck that it talks about. It's with the new moon being in Taurus. It's kind of like focusing on and trying to be yourself in alignment of what it is that you need to call in those sense of things. It really does. So I'm going to put 2 cards on each. You hear me say be bold and make the first move, which speaks of cardinal signs with the big leaders in the aspects of whatever the case may be. You did get the Emperor card, so that's all about utilizing that strength of things you could do. Adjustments are required. You did get mutable signs, so you did get 2 of them that was reversed, but we can work with that. No, you just got 1 reverse, and that was the what was it? Gemini card. So that's getting under the surface, but Virgo, Sagittarius, and whatever it was, they was there. So it seems like you was adjusting on that part, but when it comes to intellect and communication, you was not. The end of a tough cycle, which is full moon in Capricorn. That was kind of like the energy of being able to withstand anything, because in those type of things, when they focus on certain things, they can get it. Show the world the real you. This is Aquarius type energy to where they don't show people who they actually are. Ooh. Damn. Ooh, shit. Y'all got Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Some of y'all psychotic as hell. I'm sorry. Or y'all dealing with some psychotic ass people. I'm sorry. Oh, y'all got like some messed up people in y'all life. Let me just say that though. Whew. Girl, I done been there. It's time to cut some people the fuck off. Oh shit. All right. How many that is? 2 and 2. I say y'all need to cut some people off. And some of y'all fucking a dangerous game with some magic. Okay. All right. Boom. Here we go. On the bottom of the deck, you hear me say, y'all, overall for the advice, you got the World, you got the Lovers, you got Eight of Wands, and you got the King of Pentacles. I think for some of y'all, when it comes to you coming to alignment with yourself, or just the idea of love or relationships or dealing with certain things, I think cooperating and blending or the enmeshment with your masculine energy, I think a lot of people feels like that's what grants them a sense of power. Some people feel like it's risky, or they feel like they lose parts of them when they connect with others of themselves. Like they try to hold, that's the part of some of y'all keep gripping to certain type natures and don't want to let it go. Because y'all feel like if you do this, you're going to lose this. But it's actually the opposite. Don't know who that's for. Okay, the prosperity lies ahead. Y'all got Queen of Pentacles being reversed and the Five of Swords. Some of y'all focus on careers, which is cool. So that's it. So it's kind of like if you're trying to trample over somebody in a defeative type matter for its contracts, competition, it's kind of like the money is going to come in. Queen of Pentacles, the reason why I don't like it, because somebody's more focused on the material type realm. So it's kind of like you don't know how to connect in your human experience. So it's going to be a disconnect. So somebody more focused, driven on cars, clothes, shoes, this, versus what they can get. So that's like the max of. So I say I don't like that though, because that's like somebody, again, you hear me say being reversed, she pretends to be. So some of y'all may have to lie. I don't know who this for. Spruce up your resume. You may gotta lie and say you got a couple skills that you don't to get the goddamn job. But some of y'all do that too much. That's how prosperity is coming into alignment for a lot of people. Be bold and make the first move. You have King of Swords within the strength. I like this though. You hear me say that Aquarius type energy, and with the strength though. Girl, these folks so messy. Ooh. You got King of Swords and the strength. So this here, you hear me say, moving into the month of August, you gotta learn how to tame your sense of ego, and knowing what needs to be cut out. And moving forward, you hear me say, of using logic and strength when it comes to you trying to assess and be a sense of a leader. Adjustments are required. You got the Emperor and the Magician's reverse. If you assessing a situation where you are using logic and you know how to execute a sense of power, it don't put you in an emperor type mode where you're adjusting. If people are asking you that you are being unfair in this type of moment, or you asking somebody else, you got to get the fuck out their way. Like, that's where King of Swords come in, where you got to be able to say, no, I'm going to cut you out. I'm done. Even if it's a legal type way situation, you got to say, I don't even want to deal with you. Because the Emperor being the reverse of Magician, like, this is somebody, you hear me say, that's concocting, they're manipulative, it's an abuse of power, they don't care about who they hurt in the process. So the divine tap that somebody may be going through, or a situation that somebody may be experiencing, it's kind of like, hey, this is what you do to other people, so this is what we finna do to you, like 10 times hard. And some people got to recognize, like, when it comes to a lot of favor that they got over their life, why they ain't got tapped like they do others. So if you're dealing with somebody like this, it's kind of like, in order for them, if you around here trying to utilize black magic to get somebody back, or whatever the case may be, or people who be doing a lot of things that they don't need to do, or you may be dealing with such substances like this, if you asking for a sense of protection from somebody, or needing that sense of help, you got to relinquish that sense of control and know how to go with the flow. Because as soon as you know how to go with the flow and you let it do its thing, I'm telling you, they're going to get their ass whooped. So, anywho, you got the end of a tough cycle is here. You got Queen of Wands and the Knight of Cups. So it could be, you hear me say, a lot of feminine cards that's being reversed. It could be the boundaries. It could be the aspects. It could be the trouble. You could be dealing with people who talk about you behind your back. The shadowy part that makes somebody two-faced, where their lack of honesty, like all those different types of things. If it's kind of like highlighting in those type of times, that needs to be released, because you hear me say, again, if you're doing full moon work, that's releasing. But it's however you want to utilize the moon, though. But if the intent is to release certain things and to allow things to penetrate you, this is the releasing. Releasing of the boundary crossing, releasing of doing certain things that harm you and harm others in the way, because the Queen of Wands don't give a damn. Oh, let's do this. Oh, shit. And you get in the Queen of Wands car, and she knows she ain't got no gas, and the car quit. Now y'all stuck with her. Like, that shit that the Queen of Wands do, and they knew but this is how they run. So that's why I said that cycle is ending for some of y'all, or whatever the case may be, or you need to call an ending to this type of behaviors, because if not, with the Emperor being in reverse, you hear me say, with Mercury being in Aries a lot, and Saturn ass retrograding around, these ain't no good return cards for some shit that come back to you, okay? You got show the world the real you, which is the Aquarius type energy. This is the Queen of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles. So again, in order to be vulnerable and honor that shadowy side, you got to say, hey, I'm reckless, I'm ruthless, I do this, I'm immature, I'm impatient, I dwell in black magic, or I do this for others, or I send low vibrational attacks, or whatever the case may be, or fucking with certain things that don't need to be. I need to be, because when things don't go my way, I don't know how to act. So that's why I said being grounded, because your earth sign, the sister sign is an earth sign, which is a Taurus. So you got to know how to utilize that power without being so stuck in a grudge type state or vengeful. So with that being said, Scorpios, that is it. But if some of y'all are walking through some unfairness, you got to learn how to adjust so they can get what it is that they need. If you out here been trying to manifest, if you out here, you hear me say you on the ladder to where you been fucking with people, I would just say, please stop. Please stop. Because in the middle, it's saying, hey, you got to be able to gain a sense of power if you are dealing with people like this, to be able to cut that shit out and move. To say, I don't want to deal with this. Because that's a hell of a lot of karma to be taken back from somebody else for some shit they did that you didn't get. So that's what I'd be utilizing my magic for if I was you. But if you out here just trying to get a lover back and you scorn, or you trying to bring in a lover because you lonely, just recognize you taking away a sense of their free will. And when they ain't the person that you don't like no more, you can't get mad, because you took away all their tenacity trying to get everything you wanted. So on that note, I ain't got no more.